Hello, Year 4s! How are you doing? Keeping well, I hope. Mr. Morrissey here with another problem of the week. Now, do you remember what we covered in our last lesson? Well, we were looking at decimals, and we were writing decimals and thinking about why we write them that way. In this lesson, we're going to build on that, and we're going to look at comparing decimals, so saying whether one number is greater than another, or smaller, or possibly the same. Let's get started. You will have done lots of comparing of numbers before, and this is exactly the same. Exactly the same. Before we do actually compare decimals, we're going to look at some facts which will really help us with our thinking. So can you see the 3 sentences there? We need to complete them. Can you think what goes in each gap? Let's look at the first sentence there. 1 is equal to how many tenths? You could think about fractions to help you. Of course, you can think about our place value number system. Well, the answer is 10. 10 tenths is equal to 1 whole. If you split the whole up into 10 equal parts, you've got 10 tenths. All 10 of those tenths is 1 whole. Next one, 1/10 is equal to how many hundredths? What do you think? Well, again, the answer is 10. There's various ways you can think about that. But if we look up here at our place value chart, you know the way it works. This is our base 10 or decimal number system. It's all based on counting in groups of 10. So 1 is equal to 10 tenths. And 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. That's how our number system works. It's all based around 10. So 1/10 is equal to 10 hundredths. Last one, 1 is equal to how many hundredths? Again, there's lots of ways you can think about it. You could think about it in terms of fractions. 1 whole is split up into hundredths. There's going to be 100 hundredths in 1 whole, isn't that right? So 1 is equal to 100 hundredths. And it's also 10. Lots of 10 is 100. Okay, we're ready to compare some numbers. I'll draw some counters in our place value chart like last week. And you can think about what number is being represented. And that's it. So what numbers do you see? Well, underneath we'll write the decimals. So how many ones do we have? None at all. How many tenths? We've got 1. How many hundredths? None. We can leave that blank or write a 0. It doesn't really matter. So that's 0.1. And over here, how many ones do we have? None. How many tenths? None. We must write that 0 there. The 0 is a placeholder, remember? And how many hundredths? We have 4 hundredths. So the number there is 0.04. Now we're going to compare our two numbers. Is 0.1 greater than or smaller than 0.04? How would you think about that? Let's go back to our facts. 1/10 is equal to how many hundredths? Well, it's 10 hundredths, isn't that right? So 1/10 is worth 10 hundredths. Now, how many hundredths do we have here? Only 4. So which number is bigger? 0.1 or 0.04? 0.1 is greater than 0.04. Isn't that right? So even though there's only a 1 here and there's a 4 here, 0.1 is greater than 0.04. This 1 is worth 1/10. This 4 is worth 4 hundredths. 1/10 is worth 10 hundredths, which is more than the 4 we have here. I hope that makes sense. We'll do one more example. I'll draw the counters. So first of all, we'll think about what number is being represented. What do you think? So the number on the left here, how many ones do we have? We've got 3 ones. 2/10, and 4/100. So that number is 3.24. And on the right we have 4 ones, 1/10, and 1/100. So that number is 4.11. So what symbol should go here? Is 3.24 greater than, or is it less than 4.11? Or are they the same? Are they equal to each other? Now, where would you start looking first? What digits would you compare first? Here's my thinking. I'm going to compare the ones digits first. Have a think about why I'm doing that. Here I've got 3 ones, and here I've got 4 ones. Now I know that 3 ones is smaller than 4 ones. Do you accept that? So I'm going to say that 3.24 is smaller than 4.11. Now why did I say that? I'm sure you noticed that here I've got 2/10, and here I've only got 1/10. And here I've got 4/100, which is more than the 1/100th I have here. But still I'm saying that 3.24 is smaller than 4.11. Now in the number on the right, I've got a whole extra 1, haven't I? I've got 1 more 1 than the number on the left. But 1 is worth 10/10, 10/10, and 100/100ths. So that 1 extra 1 is worth way more than the extra 10ths and 100ths that we have in the number on the left. So overall 4.11 is greater than 3.24. So what symbol should I put here? Are you imagining in your head? 3.24 is smaller than 4.11. I hope that makes sense. One more example to look at. What numbers can you see this time? Let's look at the number on the left. How many ones? There are 4 ones, 2/10, and 4/100. So the number is 4.24. And the number on the right, there are 4 ones. There's 1/10. It's 200. So the number is 4.12. Now we're going to compare. So what digits should we look at first and why? We're going to compare the ones first. Why is that? It's because the ones are worth the most. We saw last time, if you have more ones, you do not need to look at the other digits because ones are worth more than 10ths and 100ths. So more ones means a bigger number. So we're going to compare the ones, and what do you notice? We have 4 ones here and 4 ones here. They're the same. So we cannot say yet which number is bigger, which number is smaller. So now we're going to look at the 10th digit, the next biggest value. Here we have 2/10 and here we have 1/10. 2/10 is greater than 1/10. So 4.24 is greater than 4.12. So that's our strategy when comparing numbers. Look at the highest value digits first. They're worth the most. So if you've got more of those, you've got the biggest number overall. Now it's over to you to work through some questions on your own. Number 1, write the decimals, so write the digits in the tables first and then compare using the correct symbol. Number 2, complete the place value chart so that the statements are correct. You must make it correct. There are lots of correct answers. And number 3, fill in the blanks. So sometimes it's the symbol, greater than, less than. Sometimes it's a digit. And for many of these, there's more than one correct answer. 2 problems for you to do to get you thinking a little bit more deeply. Number 1, use each digit card once to complete the statement to make it true. Can you find 8 different possible solutions? And then the second one, more digit cards. Use those to make the greatest possible number. Use them to make the smallest possible number. Now these challenges remind me of a video I made all about maths games you can play using dice, and they're all adaptable to decimals. and you can create some fun games similar to these challenges here. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. Next, I'm going to go through the answers, so pause here if you're not ready for that. Here are the answers for the first 3 questions. For the second question, there were many other possible answers. And also for number 3, when you were putting in those digits, those questions on the right, there were many possible answers again. And the problems, some possible solutions. How did you get on with those? Well, I hope. I've got one more challenge for you. Can you write down your method, your strategy for comparing decimals? That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I look forward to seeing you again next week for another problem of the week. In the meantime, look after yourselves. Take care. Bye.